intelligence.
Possible into Iraq.
She wore the uniform, she held the clearances, she knew the kind of information America protects at all costs. Then, according to federal authorities, she walked away straight into Iran. Monica Elfriede Witt, a former U.S. Air Force counterintelligence specialist from Texas, is accused of defecting to Tehran, giving national defense information to the Iranian regime, and helping target her own former American colleagues. Now the FBI is offering $200,000 for information leading to her capture and her prosecution. But this story is bigger than one fugitive, because if Iran could allegedly flip someone who once worked inside of America's intelligence system, the question becomes, who else are they targeting right now? Former insiders, contractors, cyber networks, weak links already inside of the country. Today we're breaking down the Monica Witt case, the alleged betrayal, the Iran connection, the cyber operation against Americans, and what it says about the threat of foreign regimes operating the United States. She had access to information that included the identities of undercover U.S. intelligence personnel. The most dangerous threat to America is not always crossing the border with a weapon. Sometimes they already have a badge, sometimes they already have a clearance, sometimes they are sitting inside of the system. And we've noticed more of this over the last year and a half. We've noticed more of these defectors within our own system. And they're waiting to be recruited. They're waiting to be compromised or flipped. And the Monica Witt case may be one of the clearest warnings we've seen about how Iran targets America from the inside. The FBI is offering $200,000 for Monica Witt. She's accused of betraying America and helping Iran target her own former colleagues. This case is bigger than one fugitive. It raises a darker question about Iran, and especially with what's going on right now. We're seeing it across the country, how many people really don't like America. And this is a reminder of one of the most damaging U.S. betrayals in recent decades. Former U.S. Air Force tech sergeant and counterintelligence specialist flips. Now, we'll give you a little bit of a rundown here on exactly who Miss Monica Witt is, but first I want you to see this clip.
Fox News Alert now, just getting word now from the FBI, a former U.S. service member and counterintelligence agent from the state of Texas has been charged with espionage on behalf of Iran. Her name is Monica Witt, defected Iran in 2013, accused of assisting Iranian intelligence and targeting her former fellow agents inside the U.S. intel community. 4 Iranians have also been charged as co-conspirators in federal court. FBI officials saying that Witt's primary motive is ideological, and the indictment alleges that when she defected to Tehran, she said she was, quote, going home, end quote. That news just breaking now from.
So she converted to Islam in 2012 during a trip to an IRGC-linked conference in Iran. She defected to Iran in August of 2013, where she reportedly provided classified intelligence to Iran authorities. She had sensitive special access programs, SAPs, and Middle East operations from her time in the Air Force intelligence. And as a contractor, that also carried over. She was indicted by the DOJ in February of 2019 for conspiracy to deliver national defense information to a foreign government and actually delivering it, including details that allegedly helped target her former U.S. colleagues via cyber operations. She's been a fugitive ever since. She's believed to still be inside and reside in Iran under protection, and she remains on the FBI's most wanted list for espionage. But the question I have is, how many are already here in the U.S. that are like her, that are working against the American people? Because we don't really know how many are here, and no one outside of classified intelligence channels can honestly give us a confirmed number. It could be a small number of regime-linked operatives, maybe some cyber actors, recruited insiders, or support networks. But anyone claiming they know the exact count is guessing. So it came out today and confused on the timing of this, on why the FBI would wait until now. The only thing that I can really correlate with this is the president's recent trip to Beijing and also the amount of other happenings, the amount of other actions that are being taken in Iran right now. But this $200,000 reward, that would be very beneficial for anyone living in Iran, specifically how bad their economy is. Now, we don't know how many are here, how many of theirs are here. And I'm sure we probably don't know, at least the public doesn't know, how many former United States military, maybe government contractors, are working for the Iranians, are working outside of our country. We're seeing them across the country on various news outlets go and leak information. You've got Senator Kelly, you've got this seditious six. And a lot of them are linked to being sympathizers. There's rumors that John Brennan, former CIA director, is also converted to, the peaceful religion. And the way that he goes about things and the way that he says things, it also makes you scratch your head as to who this guy is actually working for. The FBI came out with this today or last night. She is a former U.S. Air Force intelligence specialist, served in the military between 97 and 08. So she was in the military during the post 9/11 deployment and that ramp up. She worked as a government contractor in 2010. And, she was 47 years old now. Officials allege that in 2013, she defected to Iran, provided information to the country's government, some very damaging information. I like seeing a lot of this information coming out now. What I truly hope is that, one of these airstrikes that we had, I hope one of these was a little more intentional than some of the others.
Force intelligence specialist who defected to Iran against the U.S. She's been charged with espionage. Monica Witt worked for the Air Force and then as a contractor. She's now tonight accused of betraying the U.S. and her former colleagues. Did she reveal missions? Did she reveal officers' names? Here's ABC's Chief Global Affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz tonight.
It is an extraordinary espionage indictment. Monica Witt, a former Air Force counterintelligence specialist, not only charged with spying, but defecting to Iran. The Texas native accused of revealing highly classified Pentagon programs that the FBI said today could cause serious damage to national security. In addition, according to the indictment, Witt identified former colleagues to Iranian intelligence.
She blew the cover of all her counterintelligence colleagues and put them in mortal danger.
The FBI said her motive was ideological, texting a contact saying, "I am endeavoring to put the training I received to good use instead of evil." Later texting that, "I just may go public with a program and do like Snowden."
You notice there, the key takeaway I've got from this is ideological. And what we're seeing across our country is an ideology, either this anti-American sentiment. I don't know how you beat an ideological war. I don't know how you win that, because you have to, I don't know where the root cause is here. Is it religion? Is it just the hatred for America? Is it hate for capitalism? Is it hate for success? Is it the hate for free speech? All of those things that are represented by what she is wearing right there. You don't have those rights in that country. And to leave somewhere where we are so free and move towards a country that has this, it worries me. It worries me that we have sleeper cells here in this country that come here with one intention, and that's to do harm. We don't know how many are here. The sleeper cells are supposed to be obvious, but I think they're amongst us. They hide behind normal life, legal status. They probably got fake identities, fake businesses. They've got online accounts. Monica Witt just shows one way Iran can gain access, not by sneaking someone in, but by flipping someone who has already had access and pulling them out. And we don't have a clean public number for how many of these terror-linked individuals were allowed into the United States under the previous administration or that came here under the cover of darkness. But we do know this. Federal data and watchdog reports show that hundreds of watch-listed individuals have been encountered at the U.S. border in recent years, and in the Afghan evacuation alone, the FBI identified 55 evacuees tied directly to terrorist watch list process, with 21 of those added only after they had already entered the country and we lost track of them. That should terrify every serious person in Washington, D.C. It should terrify everyone around the country. You need to have your eyes open. The government cannot give the American people one simple answer. How many of these people got in? And when the answer is unclear, that itself is a national security problem. This doesn't mean every Iranian in America is a threat. I've got a really good friend that's from Iran. He can't contact his family. He left there in 1978, I believe. He evacuated. Most of them came here to escape that regime. The Iranian regime that's there has a history of using intelligence networks, cyber operation proxies, and more importantly, intimidation. So the question is not how many Iranians are here. The question is how many people inside America are working for Tehran, helping Tehran, or vulnerable to be recruited by Tehran. Now, I want to, there's another report here.
This was a remarkable effort by the FBI, Director Patel leadership, and our international partners. And we were able to intercept and get in the middle of this man's attempts to wreak havoc and terrorize not only the United States, Canada, Europe. And so we were able to introduce an undercover working with our law enforcement partners. So I think what our U.S. attorney just said is dead on, that President Trump's leadership around the world allows us to have the credibility and the partnerships to allow us to work with folks overseas, and that's what happened here. So he was brought here and appeared in court this, earlier today, and it is on the one hand, should be very alarming to the people in this country that there are men around the world trying to exact this sort of terror. On the other hand, it shows the success of good law enforcement work and good police work and working.
So the story here with Todd Blanche, there is a story coming out of the New York Times. An Iran-backed militia commander was arrested and charged with plotting to attack Jewish sites in the U.S., including one in New York. Prosecutors say he is a leader of a Hezbollah regime, a Iraqi militia. So that in itself shows that our law enforcement is working. But how fast can they accomplish what they want? I covered in a previous video all of the refinery fires that are happening across the United States. And now we have another incident that came out. Officials are saying 11 people, including firefighters, were injured after an explosion, a massive fire at a lumber mill in Maine. And this is happening. It's becoming too regular.
At the scene, and it has appeared as though it has been under control, and then we have seen some of the flames come back up there. We were just recapping some of what we heard from the officials on scene there is around 10 o'clock, and in one of those silos, this is where the fire originated from. Searsmont Fire, which is made up of volunteers. They were the first ones on the scene here, and then as we have heard from some of the 911 audio, or for a dispatch audio, at that moment, that's when they called for mutual aid. And
so this is a lumber mill in Maine. And I'm sorry for the guy's asthma. He's got a little bit of wheezing there. Maybe it's from the smoke. I can't tell. But you can see this. I covered in a previous video, there's been about 11 refinery fires over the last month and a half. And this is just another incident that we're not really getting a lot of explanation about. And that bothers me, and it should bother all of you. Because when the news is, look at the damage. Look at the destruction there, the devastation. Look at this. Imagine how many people work there. This is a small town. Searsmont is a small town, maybe 10,000 people. And I would say probably 1,000, maybe 1,500 of those families depend on incomes coming from this facility here. Now, is this just random? Is it an accident? Is there something a little more devious behind this? We don't know. But the potential for that to be something from one of these sleeper cells is very real. Now, one of the things that's being done to address this is by Senator Tom Cotton. He has put forth a bill. Relatives of terrorists have no business being in our country. My bill would revoke the visas from family members of terrorists to keep Arkansans safer. And this is the full article here out of Breitbart. And this is Soleimani. He was taken out by a drone strike from the president in the previous administration. And apparently he had family living in California. They were living basically like the Kardashians. And this bill would revoke existing visas to close family members of these people and prevent future ones from being obtained. And it's been introduced by Senator Tom Cotton right here out of Arkansas. This'll tell you who wants to keep America safe. When they bring this to the floor to vote, it's very similar to the SAVE Act. When you have people actively voting to allow family members from a person like Soleimani to come here and live amongst you as an American citizen, that's going to change the way that's happening. This is another incident. This is in Venezuela. This is another refinery in Venezuela. Multiple people injured. Look at this destruction here. Was this planned? Is this an accident? I've never believed in coincidences, but now it's just getting a little worse. It's becoming a little too common for me to be told, oh, it's just an accident. I can't do it. You've got information now coming out of Iran. They're getting desperate from bad to worse. Estimated 80,000 barrels of oil reportedly spilled. I want to say dumped is probably the real term here. They have dumped oil into the Persian Gulf. So the Iranians, they don't care about the environment. I want to know where all of the dirt worshippers are here in the United States, because this should really bother them. The Greenpeace. Where's Greta Thunberg at right now? You can see a fire there in the distance. The Iranians don't care. The IRGC, they do not care. With this story and with us talking about the potential for people coming here and wanting to do harm, U.S. officials suspect Iranian hackers are behind a series of breaches of systems that monitor the amount of fuel in storage tanks. That's here in the United States. Hackers responsible have exploited an automatic tank gauge, systems that were sitting online and unprotected by passwords. That's pitiful. And even CNN is reporting on this. So we've got a lot of accidents happening across the country that we can't really get a reason for. We have defectors leaving. We have sleeper cells. We have people walking around that don't like us and want to do harm to our way of life. And now you've got Iranian hackers hacking gas stations, the tanks. Does this sound like a country that can be dealt with, that we should be able to deal with? The president just came back from China. And at the same time, this is where this $200,000 reward just happened. And I believe $200,000, it's probably too much. I don't think this lady is worth very much at all. She has betrayed her country. She has betrayed her family. She has betrayed that uniform that she is wearing. And I believe there's probably more of them just like this that have done the exact same thing that maybe we just don't know about. If you've got any information with regards to this woman's location, where her whereabouts are, or any way to contact her, you're welcome to leave a comment below, and I'm happy to make a report to the FBI for you if you are afraid to do that for yourself. But we have got to clean up our own backyard. This is a pitiful situation, and I personally hope that this woman is convicted, captured, convicted, extradited, court-martialed, and spends the rest of her life in Leavenworth or some other federal prison much worse. With that being said, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. If you would like more information about President Trump's trip to China, you can check out this video right here. We go into everything and a lot of the dealings and a lot of the backroom deals that the president discussed with the president of China, Xi Jinping. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.